Has anyone ever told you that you look like an 8th century Spanish painting? Yeah, like you have these really big eyes right there. And the reason why they drew people like that is because the point was never to draw realistic humans. It was to draw humans from the perspective of, like, a higher power. It was like to represent the spiritual essence. I'm saying that you don't look like a real human. You look like the representation of a human soul. But but you still are real. You're still squishy, and your human vessel is just like weird. You look... Oh, I think I have one somewhere. Let's see. Oh, here it is. You look like this. You see how big this 8th century Spanish painting of a seraphim's eyes are. This is a seraphim. They're one of the types of angels. And so they have all of these eyes. And I can't tell what these letters are. But see this I-E-L? A lot of angels' names end in that sound, right? There's Raphael, Azriel, Michael, kinda, it's about the sound more than the spelling. But that means of God, of God. So what does your name end in? I'm just wondering. Because you look like this guy, and you see how he has red, like, around his eyes? That's not makeup. Do you see what I'm talking about? That's not makeup. That's from exhaustion, but like a noble, heavenly exhaustion. And you also have these big, dark circles around your eyes, and they're kind of red and tired. I used to have really red, tired eyes too, but I think that's one of the differences between you and me. I go to the doctor whenever I find, like, weird things about my face, and I don't think you do. But you probably should. Have you heard of today's video sponsor, ZocDoc? ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors. Choose the right one for your needs and click to instantly book an appointment. That's in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across nearly every specialty, from mental health to dental health, from skincare to eye care, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need that you may have, and who are highly rated by verified patients. You can also see their actual appointment openings, choose a time that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. I am at this stage in my life where I'm becoming more and more aware of how my health affects my quality of life, and that may seem obvious, but I think we all remember how when we were little, a runny nose or a sunburn couldn't really stop us from having a good time. But something about the mundanity of adulthood makes small aches and pains, a runny nose, whatever it may be, much less bearable, at least for me. So I'm always looking for solutions to these things, and oftentimes I realize only when I go to a doctor that there is some kind of underlying issue worth treating here, something like an iron deficiency, and that's why going to the doctor is important, because fixing the small things can make a big impact on your day-to-day experience, and ZocDoc makes it easy to do just that. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. You don't even have to talk to anyone. Just book with a few clicks. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sleepy. Also linked in the description to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Thanks again to ZocDoc for sponsoring. Now let's get back to the video. Anyway, since I went to the doctor, now I'm not chronically fatigued anymore, and I started artificially putting red stuff back on my eyes because I kind of like looking tired. I think it's like a personality trait at this point. I'm perpetually exhausted, but you're the real deal. You look like you've seen things, and like you keep seeing things, because you look like every night you're fighting demons in the firmament of heaven. You have those red 8th century seraphim eyes. Can I touch them? Like on your eyelid, just like, can I touch them a little bit? Okay. Touch, 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 touch. It's crazy how it's really not like eyeshadow or anything. It's really on there. It's like really your skin color. Kinda sickly. It makes you look so interesting. Do you like my glitter? I want you to be honest, because I feel like no one's ever honest. How much money do you make? People also never talk about that, and I'm just curious because, like, I don't know what's normal anymore. Like, I know what the statistics say is normal, but no one talks about it in real life. So, like, when my friends are buying coffee or whatever, I don't know, like, how to place that in my conception of how they're doing. Do you struggle with that ever? I'm just wondering. Like, when you have eyes like these, does that make you a more honest type of person? Or are you also exhausted by the mandatory dishonesty of the current culture? I like your hair too. I think it's really, let's see, it kind of reminds me, I think if you grew your hair out, let's see, I think I have a picture somewhere. I think if you grew your hair out really, really long, it would kind of look like this person's hair. Do you see how long and kind of wavy curly it is? Wavy curly, wavy curly. Wavy curly, wavy curly, wavy curly, wavy curly, wavy curly. Wavy curly. But your hair's not quite that long yet. Have you ever thought about growing it really long? I think it would look cool. I think you could pull it off. I really do. I think everyone looks better with longer hair, no matter what they, identify as. Like, hair is hot, right? Also, I think wigs should be normalized. I think everyone should have access to the hotness of, like, long hair. You know what I mean? Like, access without any kind of shame. Men should wear wigs more if they want. I think baldness can be a look too, though. Being bald and having hair are both pretty good, but I think like the like the balding thing, I think that would probably, I think those people should maybe wear wigs or shave it all off. But maybe I'm being too honest. I just feel like, I don't know why more men don't like wear wigs if they want to like have hair, or just shave their head, because like, you know, skull bones, I've always wanted to like really touch a bald head, because I've never have. I had this priest growing up. Well, I think it was more than one, but in my town, some of the priests were bald, and their heads were so shiny, and because I was a kid, I like associated it with holiness. I was like, wow, the more holy you are, the shinier your head must get. And it looked so smooth, and I always kind of wanted to like just touch it. But obviously, I couldn't reach, so I just kind of let that fantasy die away. But I'm sure as I get older, there will be more appropriate circumstances for bald head touching. One can hope. Has anyone ever told you that, like, your lips kind of, look like little worms? Detrivores? Is the family Detrivores or Detritivores? I always forget how many syllables that word is supposed to have. Detritivores. I think it's just Detrivores, but they're all of the decomposers, so like worms and slugs and stuff like that. They look so kind of squishy. Squish, 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 squish. Squish, 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 squish. Poke. Yeah. With these red eyes and red lips, reddish lips. I don't know, they're not that red. They're a color. They're kind of one of those, like, I feel like the color would be different in different lighting. They're kind of brown. It's a nice brown. But I think it's just like a color theory thing. Somehow in the context of you, they look red. But I think if I were to get one of those little, like color wheel pointer things and take that red and put it on a blank canvas, I think it would actually be more brown. But they look red on your face, which is crazy. It's like a color theory moment. It's beautiful though. It's interesting. I think like if I were to paint you would look more real than you do in real life, because you look so much like an 8th century Spanish painting. It's all kinds of, but if I were to draw you, I wonder if you'd look a little bit more real. Maybe I'll just push your hair out of your face a little bit. These kind of small pieces of hair. I'll just push those out of your face so that they're not in the way. I can see the sides of your face. You don't have like very prominent cheekbones, do you? It's another one of those 8th century, probably 7th and 9th century too looks, but like, let's see if I have another example over here. Let's see if I have another example I can show you of what I'm talking about. Your cheekbones. See, this is a little bit more recent. This is more of a 14th century painting. But see how these angels, they don't really have prominent cheekbones. They have this very soft, delicate appearance. Because they don't have an angular face. I think that kind of, reminds me of you. It's very delicate. It's very delicate. Do you ever feel like this world is too harsh for you? Like maybe you belong in heaven? That sounded like a threat. I mean more like, do you feel like you're more suited for paradise and having zero problems than suited for work and having some to many problems? I think most people feel like that, but I think your feelings might be correct, which separates you from the chaff. I think you're special because you have those eyes. And if I run my finger kind of around the perimeters of your eyes, I almost feel this sort of energy coming off of them. But I think it's just a delusion. I've been struggling with reality lately. You know, telling the what from the what, like the what's the real versus what's the idea versus what's the silly. But I think delusions can still inform, what's real. Even if I'm delusional, it's because I'm noticing something, is what I'm saying. And whenever I put my fingers very close to your eye and just put them around the perimeter, and even whenever I brush my fingers down the middle of your face and kind of around the corners of your mouth, I feel this kind of like this jelly texture, but it's not on your face, it's in the air around your face. The air is like thicker around you. Have you ever tried to get a Reiki healing? Or any kind of faith healing of maybe a different spiritual framework? Because you're surrounded by jelly, your aura. There's this gelatinous, mucusy membrane coating your body in my delusion of you. And I think maybe you could get that checked out by a doctor on ZocDoc. You could probably find someone to help you. But also, some struggles, some weirdnesses can be so defining to who you are that I understand if you just want to keep the mucus jello. Is it comfortable? If it's comfortable, I wouldn't want you to have to do without it. Your hair is so soft. I feel like I could touch it for quite a long time and not get bored. Can I ask you a question? Whenever you look at this book cover, do you feel more like you identify with this girl with big features and small hands, or with this cat with small facial features and big hands. Which one do you identify more with? These big features or these small features? These small hands or these big hands? This was the first book I ever bought at a book fair ever, I think. When was it published? 2005. Yeah, that was a pretty long time ago. I remember buying this book and I was pretty excited about it. But I think that you have this unique thing where you have this kind of weary skepticism about you, but also this curious fear. Me looking at you, I see both. So that's why I was curious about how you felt about yourself, how you self-identify, because both are real, you know? How you feel inside yourself and how I feel about you. They're both kind of the truth. Aren't they? At least to some degree. I like you. I think that you could inspire a lot of artwork just by walking around. Have you ever thought about being a model? I feel like you could be a high fashion model, you know? Like, you could wear clothes that look like triangles and a weird hat, and then you could serve face. Can you serve some face for me? Okay, now do it again, but something different. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one right there. That's the one. That's good. That's good. Intense. Yeah, you should consider high fashion modeling. I don't think commercial work is for you. I don't think you could, I don't think you could work for Maybelline, but you could work for, an Italian clothes designer. Probably, maybe even a Polish one. Or perhaps one from, what are those islands that I'm thinking of? What are those islands that I'm thinking of? What are those islands that I'm thinking of? I think they speak Spanish. What are those islands? Equatorial Guinea. That's what I'm thinking of. Equatorial Guinea, where they speak Spanish and have good music. I think you could pull off that culture. Not that you should just appropriate cultures, but I mean you could be hired by those cultures if you wanted to. You could do a lot of things with your face. because right now you have sort of this underdog, suffering hero vibe, but you could also be evil. You could be like Silco in Arcane, except, rounder on the cheeks. And not a drug addict, but kind of the same, like, wounded, troubled villain. You don't really look like Silco, but I think you could have, like, the vibe if you wanted to. You could be you don't want to be evil, though. I respect that. I don't want to be evil either. It's hard, though, when you're a YouTuber. Sometimes the evil really sneaks up on you. To be honest, I don't think people are honest enough about how easy it is to be evil. I do try my best, though. I do try my best. Am I talking too much? Do you want to go to sleep? I'm sorry if I'm keeping you up by, touching your face. It's just